Here again, and in this video we're going to be talking about Mavado's slide. He's got a lot of interesting moves and irregular moves and strange moves, but this one probably has to top them all. It's an ambush and it's an OTG, two things that are kind of foreign to Mortal Kombat. Not so much the ambushes anymore, but having this thing that can hit the opponent off of the floor has so many meanings, and I just want to cover it a little bit for this video. So as you can see, anytime I knock Melina down, whether it's like a sweep, a down two, or even a full combo, I can end the combo however I like, and I just press down Kameo and he comes flying in and kicks them on the floor. And this basically just turns any of your combos or launches into a block string, kind of, because this low is blockable. So if my opponent is knocked down, and they can just block this OTG. It's not like it's guaranteed extra damage. But that's kind of strange because it kind of turns what was a combo into like this kind of situation. Suddenly they're blocking and having to deal with plus frames and mix-ups. So that on its own means that you just automatically kind of get easy Oki. Because as you can see, when this happens, if the opponent does block it, this can be anything from like plus 30 to plus 50 depending on the knockdown. So it's very, very advantageous. You're guaranteed to go in and get some pressure. You know, Rain's guaranteed to get his overhead. So there's a lot of scary mix that just happens by de facto of the opponent blocking this. And not only is it good when the opponent blocks this, they have to block it. If I get a knockdown, say I end my combo with a geyser, normally Melina would be able to just go for her armored wake up. You know, that might be a good idea. It might beat some of my Oki. She has a pretty bad wake up, to be honest. But you know, depending on what I'm going for, you can be like, oh no, she caught me. I tried to do something overly committal. Maybe I was going for my overhead or something. She armored through me. She wins. But that's not something you really have to worry about if you're using the slide with Mavado. Because as you can see, it happens before the opponent gets the opportunity to do their wake up. Because they can only wake up like the frame before they get off the ground. It happens after they get up. So if you kick them before they're allowed to get up, then you remove the ability for them to wake up. So yeah, not only does this give you easy plus frames, it also deletes the opponent's ability to wake up or delay. It takes all of their wake up options instantly away from them and just turns it into a simple advantageous block string for you. So if you are not a fan of the wake up system in this game, you just wish you could get some classic pressure, well, this is definitely the Kameo for you. It turns anything into a consistent, reliable plus frame. But what makes this even more interesting is that the timing of you doing it isn't actually specified. As you can see there, I can delay it quite a bit, so much so that the opponents can actually start off their armored attack. And this ability to delay the low leads to some pretty interesting setups for some characters, because Rain's Geyser, for example, you can delay the low ambush quite a long time afterwards, so you get some interesting jump in mix, and the same applies for Melina with her forward 4. So as you saw there, that was a, you know, low into overhead, pretty standard. But I can easily change the timing to be overhead low. So this already sets up for a pretty scary precedent of mix. If you can go low overhead or overhead low, and they're both completely safe and the opponent can't armored wake up, it's pretty bad, but what kind of reward do you get from this? If the opponent is conditioned to start blocking, like to block the Mavado low, because you've been using it so many times, that would make sense, but as you can see, they'd get hit by a full combo. And that's honestly probably the worst outcome for the opponent. That's where they're going to be taking most damage. So if they block the low and they don't block the overhead, that's pretty bad. And if the overhead comes first, then they just get completely mixed. And as you can see, depending on the situation, that can lead to pretty good reward because they miss the low and you just get a full combo into the corner. So perhaps they're like, fine, I'll just take the low. Like the low isn't going to deal that much damage to me. I'll just take the low every time. That starts to set up a scary precedent as well. Because if they're willing to take this low, how much does it do? It does like 60 damage or something. So that turns any simple combo, like how much damage does this do? 32%, into practically 40%. So all of your combos are getting a decent extra chunk of damage. They're becoming 40%ers from like barely 35%ers. And that's just because the opponent is too frustrated to keep dealing with all this mix. So it's pretty scary. You get some guaranteed extra damage, but also, depending on the character, like Rain for example, taking this extra knockdown can either just lead to easy, simple Oki, where they get hit by the low, you know, you chase them down, go for some more mix, or it can lead to some Whirlpool setups as well. Or you can go for the hard to blockables in the corner, because while you summon the Whirlpool, then you bring out Mavado, and then they get hit by really meaty Whirlpool. Yeah, so taking the low doesn't end up always being such a great option for the opponent. And although that example with Rain particularly, it is reactable if the opponent knows what's going on, they can just simply like see the Whirlpool and then block low. But there are other setups like that where you can get a not hard to blockable Whirlpool, but just an easy blockable Whirlpool because they were too busy trying to take the low. So ultimately, this is just a really strong move. It's an ambush, it only costs half a Kameo gauge, and it comes back at a reasonable speed. And it just does so much for you. If you're a character that doesn't really need to always use him for extensions or use this trap, then you may as well use this after every single one of your combos. Because what's one of the most important things in fighting games is to have the advantage. And this just automatically gives you the advantage always, from no matter what your combo was, whether it was good or bad. You can be like, oh, let me just keep my plus frames going on block. I don't have to worry about any of the mind games of wake up armor or wake up delay or mashing on me. It's just my turn. So I hope this helps you, Mavado mains. Go spam this move, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.